But feel free to come up close to around the bed if you'd like. This is the point we're going to be speaking from, so you'll be able to see us. I'm Nancy Kroll, and I'm the library director here at the Scarborough Public Library, and I'm a historical relic, so it's a pleasure for me to be here. I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to see all of you here. This represents such a fabulous cross-section of the community, and it's been so long since we've seen one another. I'm hearing it from all of you as well, and it's too bad we needed an excuse, but what a wonderful excuse to be together. So welcome to the Scarborough Library on behalf of the library and the Scarborough Historical Society. The presentation of the quilt is part of our bicentennial project. We have been celebrating the bicentennial for a very long time, as you know. This is actually a project that started over 2 years ago and was delayed. We were supposed to have this celebration a year ago, but what a wonderful chance to bring it in a very special way. Mark Matteau from the Historical Society will be giving some remarks about actually the bed and a little history of the Historical Society's acquisition of that. Many of you are very familiar with the quilt itself, and we will be doing more throughout the next several months about what the squares represent and really share all of the talents that are represented in the quilt. I do want to pause a moment and read a land acknowledgement from the Scarborough Public Library. The Scarborough Public Library acknowledges that it is located in the traditional homeland, past and present, of tribes in the Wabanaki Confederacy. We recognize and honor the current tribes who comprise the Confederacy: the Penobscot, the Passamaquoddy, the Maliseets, and the Micmac, who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. We acknowledge the Owaskawag people who once lived in what is now Scarborough. We respect the traditional values of these tribes and support their efforts for land and water protection and restoration. In offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous sovereignty, history, and experiences. The statement was endorsed by the Library Board of Trustees in May of 2021. So once again, I want to thank you for coming, helping us celebrate our bicentennial. Many of you are where we had our state parade finally yesterday, and this is our Scarborough opportunity to continue the celebration. The Maine Historical Society, the Maine Humanities Council, that's why you put glasses on. The Maine Humanities actually provided a grant for us to launch a series of programs, which we did start prior to shutting down from the pandemic. And that was a program with Liam Riordan from the University of Maine. We're going to continue our programming beyond today. We will be hosting a program with Matt Edney from the Ocean Map Library, and I see that Mark is wearing his mask today from the Map Library. He will be speaking on mapping Maine with representation from the Map Library. And we have had one of these programs before. It was fascinating. This one will be presented on Zoom for those of you who are comfortable with that technology, and we look forward to you joining us on September 21st. That's a Tuesday at 6:30. So with that, our thanks to all of you for coming. Our thanks to the Maine Humanities Council for their support of our now 2-year-long celebration. And I will turn it over to Mark for more comments and a little history.
Thank you very much, Nancy. And also I'd like to express my own personal thanks to everybody who was able to be here on this blustery afternoon. And also I'd like to thank you too on behalf of the members of the Scarborough Historical Society. An astonishing thing that we have before us here, this beautifully handcrafted quilt, and also the bedstead owned by William King. What I'd like to do is just offer you a little synopsis of the life of William King. William King was born in Scarborough on the Dunstan Landing Road to Richard and Mary King in the year 1768. His father, Richard, was a very prominent landowner and businessman in Scarborough, and also he operated a very lucrative shipbuilding industry, which was located on the Dunstan Landing Road. When William reached his early 20s, he took a turn in life and went out to make a new life for himself. Most of his career was spent in what we sort of refer to as the mid-coast region, the area of Bath, Brunswick, and Topsham. He managed to obtain a position working in a sawmill, which led to his own purchase and operation of a sawmill, which led to the operation of shipbuilding. And from shipbuilding, that led into him becoming the largest owner of merchant vessels in Maine at the time. He also was instrumental in founding the first cotton mill in Maine in the city of Brunswick. He also started the first bank in the city of Bath. His political career was such that he was elected to represent Maine, and from the town of Topsham at the Massachusetts House of Representatives. Following that, he was elected to serve as a senator. At that point, the War of 1812 commenced. It had a tremendous impact on what was to become our own beloved home state of Maine. William was appointed as a brigadier general of militia, and he oversaw the recruitment of soldiers and also with fortifications and maritime protection along the coast during the war, which subsequently led to him being appointed as a colonel in the regular U.S. Army. When hostilities finally ended, he was again reelected back to the Senate, and at that point he began, along with many other people, the process of separating Maine from Massachusetts to become an independent state, which was approved in 1818. Maine finally became a state on March 15, 1820, and William King became the first governor of our state. He only served as governor of our state for about a year because in 1821, President Madison appointed him to a committee of 3 to oversee a dispute between the United States and Spain. Then following the resolution of that issue, he was appointed by President Madison to be head of customs for the city of Bath. Following that, he pursued his wealth and his employment, and he attempted to run again for governor of the state of Maine in the election of 1843, but unfortunately wasn't able to become reelected again, because at that point in time, especially in our area, in the 1830s and 1840s, there was a tremendous amount of financial and political unrest that was going on in the country. William finally passed away in the year 1853 and is buried in Bath. That's a bit of a roundup for a local boy who did really good and really hit the big time. If you ever have an opportunity, the Dunstan Landing Road is located right off the Pine Point Road. On the right-hand side, there's a sign that designates the road. If you travel down on the left-hand side, there is a millstone memorial put up to the King family that was placed by the Daughters of the American Revolution. I'd like to personally compliment the quality and the beauty of the work on this quilt. I've participated in living history museums and have helped students go through and do quilting. And it obviously entails a great deal of work, and I was talking with a friend of mine earlier, and I said, one of the things that's amazing about quilts is that traditionally they were the product of 1, 2, or 3 people, but to go through and coordinate this number of patches to go through to create this absolutely beautiful piece of work is really something that the people who helped to produce this really have every reason to be proud of. And at this time, I'd like to pass I never thought I'd say this, I'd like to pass the microphone over to Lucy Norville for some further observations.
Hi there, my name is Lucy Norville and I coordinate programming and communications for the library. And the work that you see on this quilt was done by more than 40 quilters. But there were far more people involved, and as Nancy mentioned, for quite a length of time. In the fall of 2019, things were just getting started on this project. And I want to acknowledge some of the people who were involved early on. First of all, Celeste Genet, my predecessor, who's here today. Give us a little wave, Celeste. Celeste provided all kinds of coordination, and this project couldn't have happened without her work. The Scarborough Historical Society, in addition to providing a matching grant to the Maine Humanities Council, they provided a phenomenal amount of time and elbow grease to make this project happen. And Mary Pickard and Joyce Alden were extremely involved with Celeste from the get-go, and also with me as things wound up with the quilt. So I'd like to acknowledge both Joyce and Mary and the Historical Society, including Bruce Larrabee and Jan Mikowski for helping to bring the bed in yesterday. So thank you very much. Can you all wave? Mary, Joyce, Jan, and Bruce. Thank you very much. And there were, as I said, more than 40 quilters involved. Some did more than one square, and you can see the key and notice that there are a couple of people who made 2 squares, and there's Carrie Goulder is here. She actually made 3. So we're so honored to honor all of the people who stitched this quilt. And there are a couple of people who worked to piece the quilt together. Both of them are named Joyce. Joyce Halden and Joyce Jensen. Joyce Jensen, I understand, did a phenomenal amount of work putting the quilt together. So Joyce, we have some flowers for you. You still here? Please. Beautiful, beautiful job. Thank you very much. And thank you all for coming out in this unbelievable weather. We hope that you'll stay to look at the quilt a little more closely, and that you'll also enjoy some of the refreshments that are in our meeting room. We have them in there because we can't eat and drink in the library. So have a cookie, have a little water, and enjoy visiting with the amazing people who are here today. Thank you again for coming.